We have never met people who come and ask those questions to us.
You want to understand the Druze religion, huh?
Yes, that's why I came here.
I cannot say to you everything; it is forbidden. But
we won't tell anyone. Good morning, Fadel Mansour. How are you?
Well, thank you. You are welcome.
Thank you. Can you tell us a bit about who you are first? Can you tell us a bit about who you are?
I am retired from the Vulcani Institute.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's about 11 years. You see, and mainly I am an entomologist. You know what is entomology?
Is the study of words?
It is research on insects.
Oh, insects. Oh, wow.
But since that time, I was involved in a lot of things about my religion, the Druze religion, and I wrote a book, the heritage book. They teach the student pupils about the heritage of the Druze. You see, and say the Jabbar.
Okay, he's a great professor in this subject. He is humble to say that.
What?
He is my brother, you see. He was a teacher of English, so that
nice.
I invited him so that he can help us.
So we have the humble truth, and then we have the full truth. What are some of the themes? Could you give us an overview of the book that you wrote?
Oh, yeah. You see, it depends whom are the Druze and what they are different from the classic Islam.
Yes.
You see, and what is special for the Druze. This is the idea.
So tell us a little, if you will, about the history of the Druze and where they come from within Islam and how they differ.
Just a long story. You see, we believe in Jethro. Jethro was father-in-law of Moses. It was 3,300 years ago. You see, Jethro came with a message to the old people. His message was, first of all, to believe in one God. The second thing, God-fearing. And third, this is social justice. He preached for these three main things. And his message was passed through Judaism and through Christianity and in Islam, and we stopped in Islam as a sect of Islam. Even that many Islam, they don't recognize us, but we feel as Islam. And Islam, the meaning of Islam is that you submit to God will. This is the main thing. You see that? But we differ from classic Islam in different things. For instance, it is forbidden to marry more than one wife. You see. And the second thing, no slaves, forbidden to slaves, you see. Third things, if you are rich, you should not have more than 4 children. And if you are poor, 1 child, you see. And the women have the right to divorce her husband. This is from different, you see, and the space of from to delivery, from to birth, you see, they should pass at least 3 to 4 years. And a lot of things I will bring the paper so that you can take it.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. So the Druze religion comes from Ismaili Islam, correct?
Exactly, yeah.
And
branched from the Ismaili with allegoric meaning of some words and some statements in the Quran, even in the Bible and in the New Testament, so that we explain it in different way.
Can you give me an example of that?
Oh, a lot of examples. For instance, in the Quran there is written, you should take out the alive from the dead, you see, and the dead from the alive. We explain it that this is reincarnation. Reincarnation. If you say to a Muslim, they will say you are heretic. You see, and in the New Testament, John came to you before and you couldn't understand him. You see, in the Bible, you see, you know Hebrew?
כן.
תגיד לי Hebrew, Hebrew זה הרבה. אתה מבין עברית הרבה?
כן, אני אגיד לך, אבל השומעים, הצופים, הם רק יודעים אנגלית. כן.
Okay. For instance, there is statements in the Bible, the old Bible. You see, there is time to alive, time to death. You see, what God has done it is fixed. You cannot add anything and you cannot take anything. So we explain it that it is in reincarnation. You see, this is the main idea. Also for
يحييكم ويميتكم زمان. يحييكم ويميتكم زمان.
You can explain me. You see, my English is not so good.
No, it's great. It's really good. Tell me this. So the way I understand it, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is that the beginning of the Druze faith breaks from Ismaili Islam with the figure of Hamza ibn Ali.
No, but before that, the message of Jethro,
yes,
he was passed through Judaism,
yes,
through Christianity, and through Islam.
Right.
And when Al-Hakim,
right,
bi-Amr,
nice, yes,
came with this idea, he said that I adopt the message of Jethro.
Yes.
Because of that, our relation to Jethro.
Yes.
Now we adopt the message of Jethro.
The Prophet Jethro.
One God, God-fearing, and justice of God.
Yeah.
And more than that, explaining.
So Al-Hakim al-Amrillah and Hamza ibn Ali, they begin to take this message of death row and begin to create something.
And Al-Hakim pointed at Hamza as Imam.
As Imam. Right.
And he gave him all the ideology.
Right, in Cairo. And at the time, there was a great center of learning, of study, the Beit al-Hikmah in Baghdad, where there was a lot of philosophy, a lot of mixing of religion. I'm curious to know how the philosophy, a lot of Greek philosophy, gets...
We were affected mainly by Greek philosophy.
I would like to know about that. Can you tell me more about
that? You see, I cannot say to you everything. It is forbidden, but
we won't tell anyone.
You see, for instance, we appreciate very much Plato and Aristotle, and Pythagoras. They are in a stage of prophets.
Yes.
A prophet, yes. According, and they said a lot of things that it is available also for us.
So that's very fascinating. I'd be curious to know which ideas from those Greek men of wisdom get taken as prophetic to the Druze community.
Well, this is the main philosophy. It is the philosophy of Plato and Pythagoras. You see, we accept this philosophy.
Right.
You see, and they believed in reincarnation.
Yes. So I'm a student of philosophy. That's what I study. So I'd be very curious to know if there are certain ideas, certain metaphysics, certain cosmological ideas. If you could tell me that get accepted as part of the Druze
religion?
As I said to you, we accept them as prophets. Even. All these Pythagoras, Plato, and Aristotle, we accept them as this is go to our religion. Our religion go back 343 millions of years, and plus of that 7,200 years. You see, and through this all this time, and in the recent time, he was affected by Pythagoras, Aristotle, and Plato.
Right. So
this is over.
From what I understand, in the bezels of wisdom, right? There's discussions and quotations from Al-Farabi and Platon and Plotinus, and these figures are discussed and they're taught. Is that true?
What is okay? Yeah, for instance, Pythagoras said, for instance, you should take from the old system 4 things and you are all right. First of all, Sholi al-Haqid. Hatred, and anger, and lying, and hasad, and jealousy. You
get rid of them.
You should keep yourself from these 4, and you are all right.
That's nice.
You see, this is a very, for instance.
Yes.
And Plato, for instance, he said that Plato, you should remember that there was a creator of the human being and of the whole cosmos. You see, and you should not forget that. And he said also, if there is a target, there is an aim of the human being. If there is no human being, the target is the last day. You see, if the last day you neglect it, people will be like monkeys, This is what all these things from Pythagoras and Aristotle said that in the nature of the human being, there is a love of knowledge. Lot of things like that.
Yes, that's beautiful. Could you tell me how the concept of God in the Druze religion is different than it is in Islam? Or
the concept of God, you see, it is as Professor Professor Leibovich said, you see, it is a transcendental. It is over our ability to know God, but we know about Him from the prophets, from the message that there is a God. And the prophets, in order to prove their saying, they came with miracles. With miracles. For instance, we see that there are miracles in the Quran which Jethro came with. You see.
Is there the prophet in Druze is understood to be a Tajalli of God, a manifestation of God?
It is but as a human being, we can know, we as a people, we cannot understand God. But God had the manifestation, you see, that the people can believe. For instance, we believe that God had appeared to a human being.
Shukran. Is there an idea that the maybe I'm mispronouncing it, Tajalli or Tajili, the manifestation.
Tajalli.
Yeah.
Tajalli?
Tajalli. Yes.
Manifestation. Because according to Islam, God will be manifested to the people at the last day. We say that it is okay, but also before that, God had appeared 72 times. This, to people in order to recognize, and the manifestation is without he is above all description, above all description, and what we can get from him, this is
there's some
because of that my religion is secret. You see, it explaining a lot of things allegoric. You see, allegoric.
Why is it secret?
Because we are afraid from you.
From me?
From you.
From you in general, not you especially.
As religious, you see, because
From other religions.
when they came with things that it is an opposite of the idea of other religions. So because of that, it is a secret, but it is no, it is originally secret. You see, Pythagoras, when he came, he separated and differentiated between people. He will not give the al-hikmah, the wisdom, to everybody because they cannot absorb it. You see, and he made different layers of people that they can understand him. Because of that, this is a secret.
Can I tell you a secret, Fadel Mansour?
Huh?
Can I tell you a secret?
Okay.
I think that every religion has secrets, but really it's the same secrets that they all share.
The same secret?
The same secrets they all have. What do you think about that? You think that might be true? Do you think that might be true?
Would you explain your idea?
Yes. So I think that let's say in Islam, right? You have the Sufis that have the secrets of Islam.
I got that. We appreciate very much the Sufis.
Right. In Judaism, you have the Kabbalah.
Okay.
They have the secrets of Judaism. In Christianity, you have the mystics. They have their own. And I think the secrets of all religions are really the same secrets.
Could be.
Could be.
Could be.
But there's only one way to find out. We have to share our secrets with one another.
Could be. Good.
I was reading that there's about the relationship between God and the world. It was very fascinating for me. That the world is described in Druze as nasut, right?
Okay. The main thing that how do you behave in your life day by day? If you behave in the direction of God, what said, so it is okay. For instance, because in the Druze there are two groups, Orthodox Druze and non-Orthodox Druze. If you go to the Orthodox Druze, you should avoid 7 sins. 7 sins. First of all, lying, killing, raping, stealing, you see, harming others, and the sixth is alcoholic, and the last one, this is open, all things that can harm the mind and the soul. You should avoid these things. After that, you can get to the religion.
Is there
So this is the main idea. This is the appearance of the sins, but there are also things that it is not appeared, like hatred, like شو اسمه courage, هذا شو اسمه الحسد.
Pride.
Jealousy.
Jealousy.
Things that are inside the heart.
Exactly, inside the heart. So you should, so that if you avoid these things, you will be close to God. because this is the direction of God, and God gave us the freedom to choose whatever you want.
Right.
Whatever you want, and according to that, you will be or punished or rewarded.
In Sufism, there's a process where one goes closer to God, the nafs. There's different, the stations of the soul. Is there a similar idea in Druze, or there's steps that one goes different?
It depends upon the man, how he can practice these things.
Mm-hmm.
As much as you practice more higher,
Mm-hmm.
you will be in higher state.
Is there a set journey or names for the stations?
There's no special names. We know that it is a small minority. We can know each other, and from that, for instance, Sheikh Amin Tarif, he was in a higher station.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather, he was a very high station,
Mm-hmm.
and so that people recognize that.
Right. Is there a process of I think there are a lot of similarities perhaps between Sufism and Druze. Is that true?
Excuse me again?
Is there I think are there similarities between Sufism and Druze?
Yeah, there is, because when the Al-Hakim came with this idea, he said that that Sufism, which is to not how do you call it, to not to يعني التقشف وال
تقشف asceticism.
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 زميلة كشا.
كين
Aesthetics.
التقشف
تقول يعني to live in a simple life.
Right.
in simple life, not to, you see, until you should be satisfied with little things.
Yes.
You see, this is he came with this idea.
Yeah.
Sufism.
Yeah. In Sufism, there's a practice which is connected to the asceticism of fana to nullify oneself, to be humble, to be
humble, and the Hakim, in his life last 10 years, he was very humble.
Right.
And he was eating what is need, and so
Right.
So that it is
Right. But there's like there's an extreme version, which is to nullify the self, fana, which then leads one to bak'a, to being. Are you familiar with these ideas?
I think I got it.
Okay.
يعني إنه يعيش في حياة بسيطة بعيدة عن
فيديو
كل
exactly not to for fun, not over things. For instance, also there is in the Shia زواج المتعة. They forbid it, according to us, it is forbidden.
What do they forbid?
It is a marriage for fun.
Oh, marriage for fun. Right.
And also a lot of things that in the Shia that we explain it in different way.
Right.
For instance, we as Islam, you see, Abraham Avinu was the first Muslim. See, Islam is to submit to God's will.
Right.
You see, and for instance, the seven commandments of Islam, we explain it. It's okay, but we explain it in different way. For instance, what is fasting? It is not fasting from only food and things like that. You should fast from all what God had said not to do. This is the real meaning of fasting. What is the meaning of pilgrimage to Mecca? You see, it is not a physical journey. It is a spiritual journey. It's a spiritual journey to know the God message.
Yeah.
You see, and Sadaqah. How do you say it in
Charity.
Zakah? Zakah.
Charity.
Charity, yeah. It is not to only to put 2.5% from you, of your income in the mosque. It is to pure your soul, to pure your soul from all things that God said not to do.
Yes.
This is the real meaning.
Yes.
And praying, it is also okay. It is pray to God. It is okay. So that this explanation, as I said to you, was in contrast to the real the Islam. So we as recognize ourselves as Islam, as the Protestant of Islam.
Interesting.
You know it.
Interesting. There, it sounds.
This is a different explanation. ما بقول allegoric explanation of the statements.
The verses of the Quran and the verses in the New Testament in a different way that the other religions understand.
So it sounds very mystical.
Yeah, it's a mystic, exactly.
So do you think that there is mysticism in Druze? Would you say it's a mystical religion?
You say our religion is a mystic.
How so?
With the explanation of the verses in different way, which is not accepted by others. This is
so there's an esoteric interpretation. There's like the
interpretation. You see, as I said to you, we interpret for instance, the zakat, the all pillars of Islam in different way.
There's an idea of Batin and Zahir, right? Batin and Zahir. There's a secret reading.
Batin and Zahir. Batin, yeah.
Yes.
It is our religion. It is in the Batin. In the Batin there is also two things: the Batin and Batin al-Batin.
Oh, what's the Batin al-Batin?
But exactly, this is the Druze religion.
Can you tell me a bit? Let me pass this to you.
No,
the inner of the infants.
Right. Can I pass this to you?
Okay, thank you.
What's the Batin al-Batin? What would that be like? Like an example.
It is a special explaining of religious verses. This is Batin al-Batin.
Can you give us one example?
Batin is the Shia is going according to the Batin, okay? And we go furthermore.
Right. Can you give me one? Can you?
القمر انه كيف احنا بنقول انه القمر ممكن يكون مباني شيء ثاني.
بس هذا the is the Shia, but we explain it others. For instance, the moon, the sun, we explain it in different ways.
Could you give us just one example of a reading of Batin al-Batin, of one the way that one idea is read on that second level of Batin?
For instance, you see, in the Shia, they said that al-Batin for raining. You see, raining, this is something, we explain it more than that.
I didn't understand.
ايش عن المطر يعني؟
اللي بقول المطر انه هاي مثلا احنا بنقول تعليم. The raining is the direction of God. You see? Directions of God.
The words, they have very, very behind meanings. Very behind meanings. It's not accepted in other
religions. Right.
Very inner meaning.
Yeah.
Very inner.
Exactly, but inner meaning.
I'd be curious to know to have one example of a verse that's read on a Zahir level, on a Batin level, and a Batin al-Batin.
You want to understand the Druze religion, huh?
Yes, that's why I came here.
Maybe he wants to say that when we speak about the moon,
yes,
we do not mean the moon itself.
Okay.
It has another meaning.
What is it? What does it mean then?
This is.
For every, I got it. You that you want to understand. the very special things that. But I gave you for reincarnation how we explain it. And this is
But I feel like that's not Batin al-Batin. That's just one button. For every secret you tell me, I'll tell you back one secret. We'll have an exchange.
It will be equal.
That's right. Can you tell me about prayer? About how do you say salah? Prayer in Druze.
prayer is to be connected with God. You cannot be connected with God if you do bad things.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone can go to the mosque or to the synagogue and pray.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot understand that. If you go to the pray, you should follow God's directions. You see?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the main idea. Because of that, only 15% of the Druze are religious. And the others are non-religious. To be religious, you should purify your soul from, as I said to you, 7 sins. This is the main idea.
Yes.
And you should be humble and should be simple and should be...
Your brother does couples therapy, right?
Yeah.
I also need some couples therapy between...
يعني معالجة الزوجات سعرين.
I also need couples therapy between me and God, because I'm trying to connect to God, trying to pray, but it doesn't always work. So I come to people who I think might know a bit about that, about how to pray. If you have any, what advice would you give to someone who needs some couples therapy between them and God when it comes to prayer?
If you follow the direction of God, and not do bad things, that you are all right. And this there are apparent things, say like stealing or like that, and there are also hidden meaning of this.
Maybe we'll have some tea. We'll take a break.
Okay, take a break. Okay.
In Sufism, there's an idea that the person, that the individual, through their spiritual work, can come close to God and can even perhaps become one with God, united with God, right? And there's an idea. Is there a similar idea in Druze faith?
انك تتوحد مع الله، تقرب من الله، تتوحد معه. هيك عند الصوفيين.
There are 28 streams in Sufism, of Sufism. So there's this special Sufism that we have.
So is there an idea that the person can become one, can become united with God in Druze?
By heart.
By the heart.
By the heart.
And on a more philosophical level, there's an idea in Sufism which is controversial called the Wahdat al-Wajud, that all of existence is...
Wahdat al-Wujud,
yes.
Yeah. This is the union of all the cosmos.
Yes. Is there a similar idea in Druze? Do Druze believe
it's very close.
Well, how would you describe that from a Druze perspective?
I didn't tell you.
How would you describe that idea from the Druze perspective?
من perspective الدروز كيف تعمل تقليد من وجهة منظر دروز كيف.
As I said to you before, you should follow as much as more you follow God's directions, you will be more sufficient, more close to God. You see, for instance, if you drink, you should drink what you need and not to expend more than you need. Not expend more than you need. This is the main idea.
Beautiful.
May I ask a question? You mentioned that God revealed himself 72 times to the world.
الله سبحانه وتعالى تظاهر لنا 72 مرة.
Yes. Is this all
in the past?
In the past?
In the past.
Are there any do the Druze believe there
At the last day,
future
at the last
revelations?
day, God will appear also, and everyone can know Him according to His purification of his soul. You asked Sheikh Qasim the same questions?
Yes, similar questions.
Yeah. And how he got?
He told us all the secrets.
Huh?
He told us all the secrets.
We're just double checking
That
they're
is
the
secret
same.
is a few, and that's it.
So you can make a comparison.
That's
Yeah.
right. No. He
I was more open, though.
no, he but I think I understand what you're saying, that a lot of the speculation and a lot of the thinking doesn't necessarily lead one closer to God, but it's through being a good person and through the actions and through having a pure heart that's really how one comes to God.
يعني الإنسان يكون قريب من الله
بالضبط.
بصفاء القلب
بالضبط. But for what you need this?
Need what?
What is the
knowledge that you are taking now? The knowledge that you are taking from us now.
I'll tell you. Oh,
What do you need it for?
For myself or for the cameras? Which one are you asking?
For both.
For both? Well, I'll tell you. First for the cameras, I'll tell you what it is. I have a channel on YouTube, on the internet, where I explore different mystical traditions, different mystical philosophies, to try and explain them. And the real point is to try and show the unity between them, how they really all point humans in the same direction, to try and create more, because we live in a world where there's a lot of different, like, separation. I'm Jewish, you're Muslim, you're Christian. We can't.
Something that can unify.
Exactly. And I think that the more we get into the heart of the religion, the more we can find the unity.
There are a lot of things that are common in all religions.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we should encourage.
Yes.
We not to encourage the extreme things.
Right.
For instance, there in Islam, the Daesh and a lot of this, and also in the Jews that the nationalists of the Jews.
Yeah.
They do. I think they do things. It is not in the interest of the state of Israel.
Yeah. And it's I don't think it's in the interest of Judaism either.
Huh?
It's not in the interest of Judaism as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is, I think when we focus on the Zahir, on the Zahir, we see a lot of separation and difference. But the more we look on the Batin, the more we see unity, the more we see oneness. You agree? So that's what, for the cameras, that's what that is.
There's a lot of things in the Bible that it is very good things.
Yeah.
אל תמנע טוב מבעליו כשיש לאל ידיך לתת. אל תאמר לך לך ושוב ומחר אתן ויש איתך. There's a lot of things that are very common and very, very high.
Very positive.
The ethical code.
Yes,
the ethical code is common.
Definitely. That too. Yes. And for myself, I grew up in a very Hasidic home, but I wanted to find. I'm a person who likes to think rationally and critically. So I wanted to find a way that I could connect to God and connect to religion, but without having to give up my rational thinking, my critical thinking. I didn't want to put my brain on the side to be able to connect to God. And through the philosophy of mysticism, I found a way that I can both be very critical and rational, and also find a way to come close to God together, the brain and the heart.
وبقول يعني إنه كيف ممكن نتقرب إلى الله سبحانه. أنا أدبر بعبريت.
كان.
شيء كيلو الترجمة بلوكي كما سمعت في الوقت.
كان.
כאילו אתה מדבר כאילו שהאדם יכול להתקרב מבורא עולם לא בדרך רק הלב אלא גם בדרך רציונלית.
כן.
אלה שני הדרכים שאפשר שהאדם הוא יתקרב מאלוהיו.
נכון.
נכון.
כן. וגם Oh, good. זה גם הדרך של הפילוסופים היוונים, כן?
הפילוסופיה היוונית גם מדברת ככה.
כן.
הפילוסופיה היוונית למעשה היא מדברת על יותר רציונליזם מאשר ארט.
נכון.
ולכן אנחנו השפענו מהגישה הפילוסופית.
כן.
של אפלטון.
כן.
ושל
כן.
אריסטוטל.
אני רוצה להבין קצת איך ההשפעה הזה קרה באופן היסטורי, באופן פרקטי. אפשר לשאול את זה?
כן, הוא שומע.
Through reincarnation.
Through reincarnation.
להשפעת הבית הפילוסופים עלינו.
כן, אני פاهم, אני بس أنا بدي أجاوب كل شيء إنه عن طريقة reincarnation بزي
So the Greek philosophers who were seen as prophets were reincarnated as the prophets of later times.
يعني هن مشان قال الجواب إنه يعني فهمت عليه شو قصده؟ إنه يعني تقمصوا كأنه من أشخاص الأنبياء.
We don't know.
We don't know. Is there perhaps a there's sometimes there's a some things happen on a hidden level and also on a revealed level at the same time, right? Is there a revealed way that happened historically, a way that influence was passed on?
يعني من ناحية الظاهر كيف كان التأثير تبعها، من ناحية الباطن كيف كان التأثير تبعها.
It's a very serious question. I said to you before what is Pythagoras said and what is Plato said. This is the main idea.
We have never met people who come and ask those questions to us. So it's new for us. We will think about it in the future.
Good.
Yeah, this is.
I'm glad.
Yeah, but
I hope that they're not. I hope the questions aren't
embarrassed.
No, I hope they're not too much. I hope they're.
It's okay. We will think about it. Maybe you come next year. We'll give you good answers.
Oh, good. All right.
I will bring you.
I studied in the high school in Haifa, and I learned a lot of Bible and also Talmud.
Oh, really?
كان
Really?
The Al-Hasidut.
Really?
בספרות.
Wow.
كان أني أهفتي إذا أبغى هيا بشنو تشجيعين.
Was it?
شهيت تسعير.
Is there anything you remember from the studies?
Not so much. It was in the 70s. So it's about 40 years
Wow.
from now.
In high school?
Nice.
Wow.
I enjoy it. I studied also French there.
Really? Wow. You had quite a worldly education.
Yeah, thanks God. Thanks God.
Nice. Does the Navi Shweb Yitro, how is his message understood by the Druze? Is there a specific message that he had?
Of course.
Okay.
First of all, to what is written in the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
From what is written in the Quran, we can understand that he fight for fearing gods and for social justice and for also worship God, for worshiping God. I think it's his main message to us. And also in the Bible, how when Moses ran away from Pharaoh, he came to Midian and he met his daughters.
Yes.
His daughters.
Yes.
Then he helped the daughters to come early to water their sheep.
Right.
And he said to them, go and ask him to come to our house. And so when he came, he worked with him about 10 years as a shepherd. Right son.
Shepherd, yes.
Yeah, shepherd. And then he married Zipporah.
Correct, yes.
And then he had two children, Gershom and Eliezer. And when he got the message that he has to go to free his people from Egypt, he went to Egypt and he left his two sons in the house of Jethro, Gershom and Eliezer, and his wife also. And he went alone. And he took with him his brother, Aaron, because he said in the Quran, and it's very hard for me to speak. وهي كبد لشون, we say it in Hebrew, and a nice verse in Hebrew. كبد لشون أنوخي.
כן.
כבד לשון אנכי.
רעל שפתיים.
כן. אז אמר לו, תיקח את אחיך אהרון. As so when he freed his people, he came to the desert, and it was very, very difficult for him to conduct his people in the desert. So Jethro, he left his tribe and went to see him in the desert. And when he met him, he said that he judged the people from morning to the evening.
Yes.
And he said to him, you are doing wrong. You will fail.
Yes.
You cannot stand on this. So he said to him, he gave him the idea how to, what you call this in English, because we do not practice it so much, how to divide his people to groups and to put on each group a manager.
Yes.
Yes. And he showed him how to choose. He told him what is the character that should be in the judge.
Yes.
And Sheikh Hayy and Sheikh Emet.
Sonny Betza.
This is the one.
Thank you.
This is, you know everything about it.
Can you go through it and tell us? Can you read it for us? Can you explain it to us?
You ask whatever you want.
Okay. What is Sufism?
Sufi.
Oh, to adopt Sufism is one of the Druze.
Yeah.
Really? So every Druze, Al-Hakim wanted every Druze to be a Sufi?
No, he asked for Sufism, and he preached for Sufism. And our Sufism is different from others. And here is what is.
So, no slavery and trade of people, no religious compulsion, God, justice by reincarnation. To be religious, you should avoid 7 major sins: lying, murdering, fornicating, stealing, harming, alcoholism, defiling things. Allegorical, number 7 is allegorical explanations of the 7 commandments of Islam. 8 is equality between men and women. 9, marriage only according to full will of both sides. 10, no polygamy, only one partner. 11, both sides have the right to divorce. 12, no marriage before 15 years old. 13, no more than 4 children to one rich man, 1 to the poor. 4, no marriage for enjoyment. 5, no alcoholic beverages. 6, not to obey despot governors. 17, freedom of will. What does that mean? What is freedom of will?
Okay. You see, when man is passing away, he should write the properties to whom who give. You see, in all religions there is a certain things. Here you are free. Whatever you want, you can do it for you.
Oh, interesting. He made Al-Azhar Mosque University with missions for scientists to those needy health schools and hospitals. The essence of the faith. Number 1, believe in one God and in Jethro and all other messengers of God. Number 2, to avoid 7 major sins. Number 3, to purify the ego, the soul from egoism. 4, to purify the soul from jealousy, grudge, anger, and lying. 5, to lead an ascetic life. 6, strict self-control. 7, modesty in life and to avoid enjoyment. 7, to avoid extreme as to avoid external appearances. 9, to avoid chat and swearing and verbal abuse, obscenity. 10, courage, generosity, and hospitality. 11, not to obey despot governors, not to fear people and death. 12, stolen properties and things taken by force are forbidden. 13, compassion, mercy for all people. 14, to help all people who are in need. 15, to get livelihood from work. Ethical code. 1, impartiality. 2, cleanliness. 3, honorable behavior. 4, patience. 5, tolerance. 6, nobility. 7, good deeds. Is there? Do you believe in Judaism we have like a Mashiach, like at the end of days? Is there?
Yeah. This is the belief of all religions, but
Yes.
there's certain things which are different.
So how is it different in Druze?
How is that different? I said to you like Sheikh Qasim, everything is sacred. You see, we believe that in the last day the Messiah will come.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and he will spread justice.
Can one? Is it possible for do Druze believe in heaven and hell?
What we experience in different
How do you explain it?
I cannot tell you. الجن والنار we don't accept that hell is something of fire and then
So what does it mean instead?
يمكن تعذيب النفس ممكن تقول له.
exactly this is the punishment of the soul.
So one can be in a place of paradise here now if they're close to God.
Paradise and hell, this is in you, in each one of us, in each one of us.
Right.
You see, when you have bad things and this is the hell.
Right.
It's not something
that makes a lot of sense.
هاي من الحكمة يعني هذول السبعة.
Can you maybe to end the conversation, is there a prayer you could share with us?
Pray to God.
Can we pray together?
I cannot translate it to
No, that's fine. In Arabic is fine.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. This is the main thing. Thanks for everything that God has given us.
Mm-hmm.
He gave us first of all the soul. You see, and He gave us all things which we need for life. You see, the air, the water, and the food. These are the main things that God gives us. And there are a lot of things you cannot count it even. But this is the main things that God gives us.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Do you want to pray for us?
Do I want to pray?
Yes.
I can make, in Judaism, we make a blessing after we eat. I can share that blessing. Yes. Birkat Hamazon, yeah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei nefashot rabat v'chetzonon al kol ma shebarata lahachayot bahem nefesh kol chai Baruch chei haolamim. Thank you. הבנתם את הברכה בעברית? כן.
For example, the Islam, they have 5 prayers a day.
Right.
We say it's okay. But what does it mean in Arabic? Salah means connection with God. This is the meaning of Salah. Salah is a sila. Sila is a connection. So the connection with God, according to our religion, can be accepted every time.
All the time.
Not 5 times a day.
Exactly. Let us hear your impression.
My impression?
Yeah. Right. Right here, whatever you want.
Whatever I want?
Whatever you want.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't think I got it back.
Oh, thank you.
Here is Ishaq Rabin, משפחת מנסור, בתודה מקרב לב על אירוע חכם ונעים והידידותי, והוא קרוב בברכה יצחק רבין.
יפה מאוד.
Thank you for opening your home and your heart to a stranger and a brother. It is my hope and prayer that the spirit of love, of good, generosity, and respect that you started shall continue through us to Allah, and that we may all live together in this land in harmony and security, united in God. Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. Here is the ambassador of Egypt.
Really?
The ambassador of Egypt. This is Arabic.
Wow.
كان أود أن أعبر عن عظيم تقديري وخالص اعتزازي وتشرفي بزيارة منزلكم العامر. لقد تشرفت اليوم بمعرفة فضيلة الشيخ الدكتور فاضل منصور والذي سعدت بحواره الثري وعلمه وحكمته. مع خالق الشكر على كرم الضيافة والاستقبال مع عظيم احترامي وتقديري خالد عزتي سفير مصر.
He said there that he was, it's a great meeting for him to meet a Druze man, and from him he studied a lot of knowledge. He took a lot of knowledge that he will carry to all his life.
Beautiful. Beautiful. It's a great honor to be able to represent the faith and to show people how to, what it's really like to be a Druze. It's a great responsibility and a great honor.
What is the same to us? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So Hasidut, it is a special explanation, or what is Hasidut?
Ken, Hasidut, in a way that very similar to the way that you were explaining the Druze, well, in the way that we read the Torah, the Tanakh, there's 4 levels. There's Pshat, which is the simple level.
Yeah.
There's Remez, which is the Remez.
Hints.
The hints, exactly.
Yeah.
رمز hints. في رمز الكلام بيعطي رمز.
There's Drush.
Drash.
And the Sod.
Sod, okay.
And Sod is Kabbalah.
Sod is Kabbalah.
Is the secrets. But Hasidut is the Sod Shel HaSod. Batin al-Batin.
So we are close.
We are, that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
There's also in Kabbalah, there's 5 levels of the soul. There's Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, and Yechidah. And each one corresponds to a different level of the soul. So Kabbalah is Chaya, Hasidut is Yechidah. Because Yechidah...
Once again, please.
Yes. So it's Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, and Yechidah. So each one, there's Pshat, Remez, Drush, Sod, and then Sod Shel HaSod is Yechidah. And Yechidah is called Yechidah because it's Yachad. It's Yachad im HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
It's always, כן, זה תמיד יחד איתו. So חסידות, הסוד שבסוד, is איך להתייחד ומה זה האחדות בין הנשמה ובין האל. זה הסוד שבסוד, וזה חסידות.
אני רואה לפעמים חסידים שהולכים ליער, כאילו.
כן.
הולכים כאילו מין תפילות או קריאות לאלוהים.
כן.
שישמע אותם.
כן.
לדברו על וואו.
You said that God is in the sky?
No.
דומה אצלנו שיש כאלה אנשי דת אצלנו שהיו מאוד סופים, אבל לא הסופים של היום. זה שונה. זה שונה. סופים זה התנהגות של חיים.
נכון.
זה התנהגות.
התנהגות פשוטה וצנועה.
אז זה דווקא העניין שבחסידות אנחנו לא מאמינים שאלוהים הוא משהו רחוק בשמיים, אז הוא פה, הוא איתנו, וזה למה שהולכים ליער, בגלל שבתוך טבע אפשר לראות את המעשה ידיו של הקדוש ברוך הוא, וכשמתבוננים על היופי של העולם, אנחנו רואים את היופי של הבורא העולם, בתוך העולם.
יש ספר, זה נקרא החיפוש האינסופי.
החיפוש האינסופי?
כן, החיפוש האינסופי. יש שזה במאה הקודמת, בסוף השנים, אז אומרים, יצא כל יום 20,000 סטאדי, 20,000, אבל אף אחד לא התקרב לשלוש שאלות. למה בן אדם נולד? למה הוא חי? ולמה הוא מת? אתה מבין? אבל מבחינה דתית יש תשובות. למה בן אדם נולד? שידע שיש לו בורא. ולמה הוא חי? כדי שילמד את סודות הבריאה. ולמה הוא מת? שידע שיש מישהו שהוא לא מת.
שיש מה?
מישהו שלא מת.
שיש מישהו שלא מת, נכון.
זה האלוהים.
כן, נכון. כתוב במשנה אצלנו, את 3 דברים אדם צריכים לשמור בדת. מאין באת, לאן אתה הולך, ולפני אתה עתיד ליתן דין וחשבון.
עתיד לתת דין וחשבון.
כן, עוד פעם.
מאין באת, לאן אתה הולך, ומי אתה הולך בעתיד לתת דין וחשבון.
לתת דין וחשבון.
וכתוב, יש גם השאלה ויש גם התשובה. התשובה היא שבאת מהטיפה סוכה, מהטיפה, אתה הולך למקום של עפר, רימה וזוליה, נכון? אדמה, אתה הולך להיות האוכל של המגץ, זה איפה שאתה הולך להיות. ולפני אתה עתיד לתת דין וחשבון, זה לפני מלך, מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. זה, אם בן אדם מסתכל על 3 דברים האלו, לא יבוא לידי חטא, כתוב במשנה.
המשנה זה הסבר של התורה, נכון?
אז המשנה היא, אז בתוך הדת של יהדות אנחנו מאמינים שהקדוש ברוך הוא נתן 2 תורות ביחד, התורה שבכתב והתורה שבעל פה. אז המשנה זה היה התורה שבעל פה, שהיה אסור לכתוב, אבל כשהיה זמן, היה תקופה שהרומנים הרגו הרבה מהחכמי ישראל, אז אחד מהם, הנשיא יהודה, הוא כתב, יהודה הנשיא נכון, הוא כתב את המשנה, שזה בעיקר התורה שבעל פה, שמסביר את התורה שבכתב. ומזה בא כל ההלכה, כל התלמוד, זה יצא מהמשנה להסביר את כן. אבל זה לפי ספרים ולפי פרקים, אז יש ספר אחד בתוך המשנה, שקוראים לזה פרקי אבות.
פרקי אבות,
יש לך?
כן.
אז כן, אז אתה יודע, אז בתוך פרקי אבות יש כל הדברים המוסריים, כאילו איך להיות בן אדם טוב, זה איפה שהמשפט הזה בא, בפרקי אבות. אתם לומדים הרבה יהדות כנראה, אתם לומדים פסוקים והמשנאות.
כן, תראה מה, במקור אנחנו היינו יהודים.
נכון, במקור.
יהודים, אחר כך עברנו להיות נוצרים, אחר כך עברנו להיות מוסלמים, ושם נעצרנו עם פרשנות אחרת. בשביל זה אני אמרתי לך, אנחנו הפרוטסטנטים של האסלאם. כן,
אז אתם מאמינים שהגיגולים של הנשמות היה בכל הדתות?
כן, נכון, ודאי, בכל הדתות.
יפה. יש אפשרות לדעת מי אתה היה
בגיגול קודם? לא יודעים, זה סוד. לא יודעים מי היית, מה היית והכל לא יודעים.
ויש מספר מסוים של, כן, 24,000 נשמות. יש מספר מסוים שכאילו אין.
מספר הנשמות הוא קבוע.
כן.
מאז ראשית העולם.
נכון.
מאז ראשית העולם. תגיד, מה זה הציציות?
הציצית? כן. אז כתוב בתורה שויאמר השם אל משה, דבר על בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, עשו לכם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם. והעניין הוא כשכתוב וראיתם אותם וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם. שלום. אז העניין הוא שזה אצלנו יש מצוות, יש 613 תרי"ג מצוות, נכון. והמספר של הציצית ושל
מה זה, של התפרים?
של התפרים, נכון. כולל בארבעת צדדים זה כולל תרי"ג. אז כשמסתכלים, הכוונה היא כשמסתכלים על הציצית זוכרים את התרי"ג מצוות. כתוב ולא ששו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם. למען תזכו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם.
זה כמו 33 פה. 3 פעמים 33, 99. 99 שמות תואר של אלוהים, לפי האסלאם.
נכון.
שמות תואר.
נכון. וואו, יפה. אז אתה מסתרסל וזוכר את זוכר את השמות.
אנחנו פה לפי 5 צבעים.
נכון.
5 צבעים של 5 הצבעים של הדרוזים. שהם הביאו לעולם את התורה שלנו.
אני חושב באידיאולוגיה הסופית, אולי גם אתה תתקן אותי, אם אני טועה או לא נכון, באידיאולוגיה הסופית גם כן הלכו והתבודדו. יש חלק מהם שהלכו אפילו ליערות, גרו במערות כדי להתייחד עם האלוהים. כי אמרו, כדי להגיע לכל צריך לעזוב את הכל.
כן, משפט יפה.
כן.
אפשר להגיד את המשפט הזה באנגלית? זה משפט אני יוצא כן.
אני יכול להגיד.
כן.
The Sufic ideology, I think, is to be united with God. And so they went to worship God in caves, and also in the forest. It's like the Hasidut. It's similar. There's similarity between the Hasidut. And they said, if you want to achieve the most, you must leave the most.
Right.
If you want to reach everything, you must leave everything.
Right. So the real everything is God, and the everything is the world. So if we leave one everything, we can come to the real everything.
Exactly.
That's very beautiful. It's a nice idea. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your hospitality.
You are welcome.
Okay.
We were happy to have you here and to know about your ideas. See? And I hope you good health.
Thank you.
Long life.
Thank you.
You see?
Thank you.
And to achieve whatever you want.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
This is a prayer.
Hopefully it will be God's will. Amen. Thank you.
You want to leave?
Okay. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Shabbat shalom.